Sorry about this, guys. It's like around this. It always happens. What in my? Yeah. Well, I, you see me now?
I see you now.
Okay. Technically, see. Hey, okay, perfect. Okay,
Kept
so
refreshing and it wasn't showing up.
yeah, I know. I don't know what's going on. If I made somebody mad because I started talking about real history or what. But I don't know. You never know what it is. Could it be just something, or could it be something else? You never know. Okay, but okay. So let me start from the beginning. All right. In the 1930s, there was a there was the Ford Foundation did a report. They found out that resources were going to be scarce because the population was getting too big, was going to put too much stress on it. So therefore, in order to get anything to go, for people to be able to um, for anything to be done, you have to have a government commissioned report that will come to the same conclusion. So what they have to do is, now that they know this, is they take it to the government, they sell it to the government, and they say, hey, look, we got this idea, we see this, we did this report, and this is something that the government needs to look into so that government policy can be made. Okay, and so they were trying to commission a report, but Eisenhower had won. Eisenhower was not a fan of FDR, so when he came into office, he said, "Screw all these New Dealers, and I don't want to hear anything." So it got stopped for just or for a few years during Eisenhower. Okay, that would later, and he was doing it on behalf of the government, I believe, under the Kennedy administration. Okay, and so they came up and came to the same conclusion as the Ford Foundation report. All right, from that point, then they had to get Congress to pass legislation, and it wasn't passed until 1976. Thanks, Jeremy. Nice to see you, buddy. They couldn't actually pass it until 1976, but it was titled Global 2000. It was the first of all these agendas that were first being done, and this was because of a Ford Foundation report that had started. So, what was the conclusion? What did they come up with in Global 2000, which would be later Agenda 2030 and 2050? See, they just keep continuing off of the same report with the same ideology. Now, they're telling us one thing, but they know another thing. So, this is something that the government is aware of. Now, is this hidden information? No, there's a 3 volume encyclopedia that will tell you the whole history of how Global 2000 came to be and what the actual ramifications would be, because you had Nixon, who would end up kind of letting some of those guys into his administration, which they brought in public policy. Because here's the thing, the government does not think that you're responsible enough to make your own decisions. So what they do is they use something called choice training. I'm going to make your choice for you by making the choice I want you to do easy, and the choice you might want to do that I don't want you to do the hard choice. So therefore, it's public ridicule, being ostracized from society, all kinds of different things. Okay, so this is what choice training is done. This is what you do on animals. This is how I worked with Sam, and to get her to go. And this is kind of what helped me understand this even deeper than when I already understood it, because now I got to see it play out with my dog Sam, which she's down here on the floor. Um, I'll show you guys her here in a little bit. But they brought in. That's when they brought in sex ed and bringing in contraception into the schools. Well, the thing is, there was such a public backlash because it was so outside of the norm that that Nixon felt betrayed by them, and he kicked them to the curb. These are like the green people, the Greenpeace people that we all see. Like the what's her name out of the little girl. Um, the autistic girl that goes around and says, "How dare you?"
Oh.
Her. These are the people that were influencing Nixon. He felt he got betrayed, and so therefore he kicked him to the curb. Well, they still kind of, muzzled underground, went into the Democratic Party because Nixon kicked him to the curb. Because yeah. Anyways, with that being said, it would be under the Ford administration that this would end up being passed. And so the American people were actually let to know this at one point in time. And they were let to know this publicly, that hey, we're having a population problem because we're having resource we're going to be, dwindling resources, we're going to be competing for them and stuff like that. And so the American people decided to act because they were still responsible. Why do we see the changes that we've seen in today's society? Why do we see homelessness? And is homelessness part of this whole grand agenda that they're doing? Because whether it be an intended or unintended consequence, the government is using policy. They've used policy to break up the family nucleus, to create a two-income family, to inflate the currency, which makes you work harder. And the harder you have to work, the less money you have, means the less likely you are to reproduce, because you don't see how financially it is feasible. I mean, even when my ex-wife and I were talking about having a kid, one of the things we talked about was finances and how are we going to be able to afford this kid. And so as a an individual, your public policy is being used and created to be able to create these situations. And so what happens when you break up the family nucleus? When you break up the family nucleus, you take away order, you take away structure, um, you take away balance in nature. There's a lot of things that happen because when you start breaking up the family, you start making divorce a profitable business. You start flaming the fans of all these gender equality, and you start doing all these different things. What it's going to do is it's going to make you rethink whether or not you want to have a child and bring a child into this world. Okay, but also what's happening within the families. Personality traits, toxic personality traits that would normally be taken out of society within childhood, because your parents were very invested in your conduct within the community because you represented them. So therefore, they made sure that their children understood manners, understood consequences, understood choices, understood everything that was going on around them. A child by the age of 12 would have more responsibility than most 25-year-olds do right now. Okay? And so, what's up, Tomcat? Nice to see you, buddy. Um, and you too, Kung Fu. But I just you have you have all of these forces that are playing, and so now you have when you take away the discipline structure of the family, you prevent parents from being able to discipline their children, and then what happens is bad personality traits are now encouraged and passed down from generation to generation, and so therefore a lot of these toxic behaviors become learned behaviors because of environment, because your parents came from a broken home, you come from a broken home, and your children will come from a broken home. So if there is, because men have one way of conducting business, and that they have to put themselves out in society, and women have a different way. There is, depending upon what class you're in, is how you conduct yourself as a person in society. There has to be some semblance of responsibility, some sensibility, some response, or some sense of accountability. But when you take accountability away, and then you have people that are giant wrecking balls that don't understand that they become their own worst enemy, and therefore, is homelessness necessarily an economics issue? I'm actually going to, on my other channel, I'm going to do a video on this. It's going to be released in the next few days, but I'm going to be talking about how is homelessness an economics issue, because I think that by destroying the family, you destroy personality traits. As the population grows and as trust is eroded within society, you have less of an ability to be able to deal with the dumb shit. And not only that, toxic behaviors are encouraged for one reason or another, because it just becomes part of the environment, and people not understanding, because you got mob mentality, you've got peer pressure, you've got social pressure that you are dealing with. Okay. Ooh, this is going to be some good stuff. I need to turn this down though, because I don't want to burn it. I just want to. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so all of a sudden, what happens is, okay, so here's me. I become homeless, and why do I become homeless? Because the things that I was doing, the conduct, my behavior, the learned behavior that is not really cohesive within society, all of a sudden becomes part of my personality, because that's what I saw growing up, that's what my parents passed down to me, because that's what was passed down to them. Okay, and so therefore, instead of being able to have a network of people that want to help you, because people inherently want to help you, but if you're destroying yourself, if you're being destructive to your environment, to the people around you, to the point to where they don't want to have any type of interaction or communication with you, what's going to happen is, instead of being able to have that help because you took time and you built those relationships, what ends up happening is you end up destroying those relationships till eventually you have nobody there that will help you, and you're on a street corner. Okay, it is not necessarily an economics issue. The decisions that you make and the things that are going on up here do more destruction to your social network, which is your social safety net, which is what will save you and put you in a place, which means you can go stay with your parents, which means you can go stay with friends, which means that they will help you find a job, which means that they will help you get back on your feet because they have connections and because you have that type of relationship with them. Instead of sitting there saying, well, you go do it on your own, you're lucky I'm even here. You see what I'm saying? So it becomes a point where we as individuals are doing more damage to ourselves by destroying our social safety nets, because of how policy has been created to destroy the very things that would have normally been our training wheels to teach us how to better conduct ourselves within society. Because there's a certain decorum, there has to be trust, there has to be confidence, there has to be accountability. Okay, that's why the neighbor lady down the street would whoop your butt, and your parents wouldn't care, because they like, you probably deserved it. They wouldn't have done it otherwise, because there was a certain code of conduct. You didn't really step in unless somebody really stepped out of line. Okay, and that's really, when you take that away, what happens is now nobody's being held accountable. The children are not being held accountable. Lessons, and because they're allowed to get away with it, they take these traits into adulthood, which then play out in the adult realm, which then all of a sudden burn every single bridge that they have, until eventually one day they are homeless. And all of this happens by destroying the family nucleus, by inflating the currency, by creating public policy to reduce the overall birth rate. Okay, so this is what the Western industrialized world did. This is how the Western industrialized world created homelessness, whether it be because of um, because of intended consequences or unintended consequences. And as economics start to fall apart, all of these bad personality traits are going to start rearing their ugly head. People are going to start having more and more tempers, because there's so much financial stress that a lot of these things that would have normally been tolerable, to where you can have somebody say, hey, look, man, pull you aside. Because I remember when I was in my 20s, I had a bunch of old guys that would pull me aside and say, you know what? Come on, kid. Grow up. This is the way the real world works. And, that's kind of the way you would be. But the truth and the reality is now I look back and I go, man, those old guys were right. And now I'm saying the same things that they were saying. And, but when you're in your 20s and you're not really taught to respect your elders and to be able to listen to their wisdom, because it's no longer common thing for the our grandparents to pass the knowledge on, and their wisdom on, from experience and life and just knowledge, on to the next generations. And so because that's not happening, again, when you have people that actually care about you, that have been through what you've been through, now all of a sudden you're looking down on them like, screw you, boomer, things like that. But that this is my overall opinion on, on this whole subject. I would love to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that's spot on? Do you think because like I said, all of this is in a 3 volume encyclopedia. The thing is, they put it where you can find it, but where you're never going to look because who reads a book anymore? So, um, okay. Oh, is this the anniversary of your wife? I know. Um, I watched your live stream a little bit this morning. I tried catching. I just wanted to say hi to you because I ain't heard from you in a while, and yeah, it sounds like you and uh, you and Bug Out. You guys have gone your separate ways. Is that what happened? Uh, mm, okay. I think that is in good shape. So, um, all right, we've got. I'm gonna let this be because this has been cooking long enough. Okay, so we're just waiting on this. Okay, so that's gonna go in there. All right, guys, we're about ready to start making some chili dogs. Man, it's nice and warm in here. Oh crap, I was supposed to close that. It's nice and warm in here and all that other good stuff. So, she left me 1 week ago today. I was at work with no reasoning. It was for the best though. Well, you know, it's sad to hear stuff like that, man. But uh, it's better. It's better to get it done early, like because two relationship and then it falls apart. Versus a few months. Hey, at least you guys found out up front, and she decided that this isn't what she wanted. So I mean, it sucks on one hand, but hey, at least you didn't get too involved to a point where it really became detrimental to you, man. Because I mean, it's you don't want. Yeah, I want you get it there. So, um, alrighty then. Do we have any questions, dear? Okay. So, let me see here. Where is the okay mayonnaise? All right. So let me go back and see what we got going on. How cold is it there today? It was what 12 degrees this morning, and yeah, it was 12 degrees this morning, and I think it got up to like 45 today. So not bad. Sucks all the time. Um, I'm drunk now though, so numbing the pain. Well, you can only hide for so long before you're gonna have to deal with it. You know, um, it sucks, but sometimes you gotta face your demons head on and not let them get to you. You know, yeah, I used to not really like standing up to people, but and sometimes like the first few times I did it, I'd do it shaking. But I eventually learned to be able to say what I really wanted to say. I mean, I can go and get in a fight real easy, but actually standing up for myself and saying what needs to be said was something that I really struggled with. And so sometimes, I would figure out an outlet, but the thing is, you still have to deal with it later on when you get out of that situation. So, man, I wish the best for you. I hope the best for you. And, I know it sucks, especially when you put emotion into something and you invest in it. Sometimes it sucks. Okay. What's up, Captain? Okay. So, Frozen? This stuff? I don't know what to do here. Um, this is really getting irritating. And this happened. Huh?
Working since you moved it, so.
It's working now? Okay. What's up, Militant Roots? So is this your home now? Yes, this is my home now. Um, I've been working for about 2.5 years. Okay, what's up, Jesse? So I've been working for about 2.5 years to get to this point, and it looks like yeah, guys, I had to move it around a little bit. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know if it's because I got so much warmth in here from all
I
this
don't know,
stuff
it
I'm
says
cooking.
it's since since you moved into here, it's been having issues.
Yeah, I know we've been having issues, but the thing is it's too cold outside, and I want to be able to cook dinner with you guys. So either and I think that this is entertaining. So type one if you guys are willing to stick through this with me. If when we have these issues, while we're cooking inside, or two if you would prefer that I just did my live streams outside with a more stable signal. Okay, tell me what you think. Okay, so.
Might have to put the thing more.
There's one fork. There's two forks. Okay. So, dear, I will get your stuff, but I need to know what you want on it. Do you want?
I just want.
I got cheese
chili
too.
And cheese. That's all I want.
You want chili and cheese?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want mustard, ketchup,
No,
relish?
No, that doesn't belong on a chili dog.
Yes, it does.
No, it
Okay, okay, tell me how you guys make your chili dogs. I'll stick with you, my friend. Okay, you do your thing. My opinion. Okay, well, the thing is this part of this is how I stick with you. Okay, ever going to be? Okay, so we got one from everybody, Barbara. Okay, so you guys are willing to stick with me, so then I won't worry about it, and I won't get so frustrated about it that I was getting a little frustrated, because it's like, I'm trying. I want to build a large enough following on for live streams.
Chili, onion, cheese.
Mustard, chili, onion, cheese. Oh fuck, I forgot onions. No, there's onions in this. So, well, this is gonna get demonetized. I've said the F word twice now that I can remember. I wonder if they're using lentils for their beans. That's why we're having trouble with them.
You know what? It's possible, because it does kind of taste more like lentils than it does beans.
Yeah. And I will give Sam the rest. Okay. All right. So you want cheese and...
Chili. I'm boring. I don't like anything else.
Yeah, you are boring.
It's all right. I make up for it in other ways.
What, by being more boring?
Yes.
Here
Sure.
you go. Okay.
Oh my gosh, that's messy. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna want to come up to the edge.
Yeah.
I'll sit down over. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. I'm just gonna have to stand and do this. Manipulating the chat gets you. Okay, and onions. Oh, okay. Okay. So let's see here. Here, I might be able to give you some more cheese. I just didn't know how much cheese we had. So, you want some more cheese?
Well, yes. It's not quite enough cheese. I like cheese.
I wasn't sure how much I made.
Okay.
So, okay, so what I like to do is mustard, ketchup, onions, relish. I do not do tomatoes. And, oh yes, I love to mayonnaise my bread. Let's see, what else? That's really what I like to do. So, put a little bit of mustard on it. I'll show you guys the final result. Because this is a chili dog. This is not meant to be... This is meant to be a heartburn. If you don't get heartburn from it, it's not a proper chili dog. Okay, let me put some relish on it, and then I will show you guys the final result.
I like relish, but not with chili.
I like to make it like it's a hot dog with chili on it. So what do you put on a hot dog? You put relish on a hot dog. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, so mustard, ketchup, relish, bread, hot dog, chili. Yeah, now this.
Relish.
No, this is sweet relish. How are the beans?
A little better.
A little bit better. Well, I boiled them extra. I know I boiled
Yeah.
them more than 10 minutes. So,
Almost there.
yeah. Hey, what's up, Mustard Seed? Did you get my email? I returned it. But, yes, this is definitely good. But yeah, I think they're using lentil. They're not using real beans. I think they're using lentil as a filler.
Maybe.
so that they don't have to, because there is some beans in here. Those are soft, but the small ones, those are hard, and that's what I think's lentil.
Lentils are round though.
Okay.
None of the beans are X beans. It's just they're crappy beans.
Hot sauce, chili, onions, and cheese. Hot sauce, really? I don't want to burn my butthole. Me too much respect. Okay. Grilled onions, bacon, and barbecue sauce. That's an interesting barbecue sauce. What kind of barbecue sauce are you using, Jeremy? Really?
On a chili dog?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you think I'm crazy. Barbecue sauce? Well, I've never done a barbecue hot dog. That's something you would expect to find in like Alabama or Texas or Oklahoma.
That's what I like on my baked potatoes.
Mm.
Like fake bacon bits, or turkey bacon.
Mm-hmm.
Barbecue sauce and
Bacon bits would be nice, man. Oh, be able to have bacon, to be able to do the hot dogs and then wrap bacon around it and fry up the bacon and then put that with chili. What do you think of that? Oh, you guys got to look at little Miss Muppet here. She's standing at attention, waiting for hers. Okay. So, hold on a second. Let me.
If you eat hot sauce every day, you don't have to worry about the butthole fire.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I dealt with heartburn last night from what we ate last night.
I fell into a burning ring of fire.
Yeah, pretty much.
You went down, 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 and the flames got higher.
Yeah. So, well, no. Today's been a very semi-productive day. I got to see Feral Farm Girl, the video that she's looking to release, and the thumbnail. Man, this girl, she's got some talent. You're better than you think you are.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you've got some skills there. No, It was 2 minutes of nothing but B-roll footage showing harvesting of a thistle. Yeah, so I'm interested to see what the final result is. But she's having trouble getting to the end of that. So, but it will be posted soon. But just so, because I know.
Been good. The weather's not been good. I don't have a warm dress to wear.
Oh yeah, ma'am. What do gays call hemorrhoids? I don't know. What do they call them, Jeremy? That's kind of. Ben Gay?
Butt nuggets? I don't know.
Butt nuggets. You never know.
Speed bumps?
Speed bumps.
Yep. I didn't even look at that. I said,
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that is funny. Hey, Jeremy, you got a good laugh out of that one. I almost spit that out my nose, though. Look at this dog, man. Look at her.
Yeah, she's gonna have farts tonight. yeah, I'm gonna sleep in the truck.
Okay. we'll sneak it up in here. I'll hotbox you. No, we've been eating a lot of beans and a lot of stuff that kind of makes me a little gassy. And plus, that medication really messed up my stomach. No, I mean, for probably about 3 days, I could peel paint. She's just sitting there getting mad and crying because it's just, we can't get out and it's too cold outside, and so we're stuck inside.
You have to open the window and it's 12 degrees outside. Yeah, and my eyes are burning. I'm drooling, about ready to throw up. Yeah, okay. But it's not that bad. I'm complaining about nothing.
Exactly. No, it wasn't 12 degrees. It was like 35.
Whatever.
No, last night was 12 degrees. Mm.
Whatever it was, the windows were frozen.
Well, yeah, that's because we kept breathing. If we stopped breathing, we would have never had condensation on the windows to freeze. What exactly is the fart allowance in a living space outside? Um,
Well,
uh,
in the
um,
truck, he certainly exceeded his.
um, the fart allowance. Well, it depends. Are you feeling sick, or are you feeling normal? If you're feeling normal, maybe 3 farts before bed. You better not crap yourself in the middle of the night, so I have to wake up and go outside. Something like that. Oh, trust me, though she's gotten me back plenty of times. So don't let her play
Oh,
victim. She's gotten me back plenty of times.
no, no, no,
This
no, no,
woman
no, no.
fights fire with fire. I promise you.
Hey, I might not do it often, but yeah, I
But
will. I
when you
will.
do, man, go running for the exits. You think I'm bad? Holy hell!
Payback's a
I've maybe
bitch.
I've maybe had 2 farts worse than what you do.
I don't know about that. While you were sick,
Chuck putting on the bed.
yeah, we won't talk about that
we
one.
there's this guy that she watches. I don't know what his name is, but he does the if you laugh you lose. And
It's
he did
education.
this. He did this one on guys that like the day afterwards would talk about how he shat on the fucking bed
No, no, no,
during
no. That was
during
Charlotte Dobray.
during oh okay yeah but did that during the act okay um yeah and then like one guy didn't even clean it up, came out bummed a smoke and then said see you later.
No, they didn't bum a smoke. They had a toke.
Mm. Oh okay, they had
Yeah,
a toke.
yeah.
I wasn't sure because they just said smoke, so.
Well, no, yeah, they were talking about
Mm, I think Sam's already started fighting. Shit. Oh damn, dog. Oh, that's you.
No,
That is
that's
not
not
me.
her.
That is not me.
That's
Hey,
that's the four.
we had my dad had his first dog, which was a golden retriever, and my stepmom had a boy's toy, which was a Russian greyhound or a Russian wolfhound, and they're just basically long hair greyhounds. And this dog was stupid as shit. We went to Fresno, and it was doing like the rabbit training to see if they could enter her into a race. And so if you know what the rabbit looks like at the race, it goes straight and then it takes a left and then it takes a left and then it takes a left. Well, this thing took a left and that dog just kept on going. I made it all the way to the fence, stopped and didn't know what to do after that because it lost the rabbit. But this dog would be laying in the living room, and it
She
would
have a dog to blame.
oh no 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 it would fart and then it would get up and it would look around, it would smell it and then get up and leave the room, and about 5 minutes later your eyes are watering, you're gagging, you're like holy cow. That was the worst dog. Like after that, whenever you say dog farts, that's what I think of, and she's very close to that. I mean, holy hell, dog, you need to take a crap.
I think
Mm.
that's when she ran out the door. I think that's what she needed to do. I think that's why she ran out
uh
because she was having gas that night. I was
Mm.
like, what?
Ding dog. Okay, guys. So we're seeing at dinner. We did our fart joke. I hope some of you guys thought that was funny. Because don't make me tell you the Bengay joke. Um, yeah, that's not funny. Well, it'll be funny for everybody else, but it wasn't funny for me. Um, so I'm a freshman in high school. I come home. My grandma being a nurse, I'm like, okay, grandma, I was in a dog pile. I got wrecked in the nuts. It really, it still hurts. A couple hours later, what do I do? My grandma says, put Bengay on him, and I'm trusting my grandma. She's a private nurse, so there really isn't anything to question because she's a medical professional. Yeah, no, I was running up and down that house for about 2.5 hours. Well, the mentholatum just basically, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh, that was very painful. But if you want something that'll make you laugh and piss yourself, that's one. That's probably the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life. But you know what? I trusted my grandma. She was a private nurse. You know, um, I'm sure people watch this in replay if they make it this far. They'll be like, "What the hell did I just sign up for?"
This wasn't what was on the agenda.
My dog runs when he hears a fart. Wow, that's funny. When you're heavy on bean diet, it's hard to trust a fart. No, I could trust a fart. I just can't trust how bad it's gonna be. I'm gonna think, hey man, this one smells good. I don't smell it. Oh yeah, this is just hot air. Next thing you know, people are running for the exits. At least you have a dog to blame. Yeah, you know how hard it is to blame the dog? Like, I almost let Sam take one for me the other day, but she figured out it was
Yeah,
me.
I moved the covers, and that was how I figured it out.
If you
That was
ain't sharing, you ain't
obvious.
even really doing it right. Oh, damn. If you ain't sharding, you are, if you ain't sharding, are you even really doing it right? Wow. Yeah, okay, so there we go. We got that far back. Beans are great. Glad to hear Farm Girl holds her own in the fart department. Well, yeah, you know what? You don't want a girl that's just like that's too sissy foo foo and like, oh, I can't, fart. No, you want one that's gonna lift her leg and you're gonna hear the wind flap. You know.
Oh no! You want to hear my cheeks clapping in
Hey, you know what?
applause?
You could call that lazy twerking. What do you think? Lazy twerking. Okay. So, all right. I hope you guys are having fun. If you guys find any value in this, you guys can leave something down in my tip jar. If you found this any of this entertaining at all tonight, but guys, we are ending the end of the night, the live stream. We finished dinner, all that stuff, man. I love that you guys are here and that you guys stick with me. I really appreciate you being here. Um, and I hope to see you guys. What tomorrow is Friday night. Um, for those of you that are Patreon members, just to let you know, the behind the scenes, I'm gonna start recording and uploading them on Friday because there's a lot of stuff that happens during the week, and if I did it like on Wednesday, I could be excuse me, I could be missing things that happen on Wednesday or on Thursday and Friday, or happen later on in Wednesday. I want to be able to give because sometimes there's like nothing happens, and then all of a sudden Thursday something happens, and say, oh, okay, well, that was one entertaining thing that happened this week. So, I want to make sure that it's going to be released sometime on Fridays. I'm not going to commit to like, oh, it's going to be there by 7 a.m. because tomorrow in the morning I'm supposed to be doing an interview with a podcast. They wanted to interview me. They cover the homeless topic. This will be my first interview. I will be posting it in the community tab. So if you do want to listen to it, take a look into all that. So, anyways, guys, thanks for being here. I will see you tomorrow evening, same bat time, same bat